Welcome to the ByBlacks channel. I'm Camille Dundas, co-founder and editor-in-chief. How many times have you, as a Black person or a person of color, suffered some kind of indignity because of your identity, big or small, verbal or physical, and you're angry, you're hurt. But some well-meaning person chimes in with some advice on how you should respond. They might say things like, "Oh, they didn't mean it. You should let it go. They don't know better. They're probably not well. Don't take it personal." It seems like even when we go high, people want us to go higher. And it feels like we're always expected to turn the proverbial cheek. Why am I talking to you about this today? I'm talking to you about this today because of a story I recently wrote about a group from Ottawa called Meals for Hope. One of their volunteers was racially insulted by someone in the community who he had delivered free meals to. The person sent an email requesting additional meals. Let me read you the email. "Thank you for the food, but we need more. I never thought I'd see the day that an N-word would be helping me. We need 2 more meals, please." And mind you, they didn't say N-word, they wrote out the word. Now, the group, in response, sent a very nicely worded reply, but declined to continue serving meals to this person, saying that they would refuse to put any of their volunteers in a position to be demeaned. They shared this response on their social media, and are you surprised? I'm not. But some people criticized the response, saying that the group should just let it be, and the group shouldn't punish this person who's probably in so much pain right now. Now, I want you to hear directly from the volunteer who experienced this, Eliezer Ake. He is joining me today. Eliezer, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good considering the circumstances.
Now, we spoke before, and one of the first questions I asked you was, "Hey, you must have been so shocked to see that email on your screen." And you said you weren't. Tell me why.
No, I wasn't at all. Actually, I laughed. I laughed and I couldn't stop myself. I was just laughing a lot, and my supervisor was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Very shocked, and she didn't understand why I was laughing so much. But I realized that this is so normalized in our culture, in our society, to treat Black people that way, and that the person who did it knew very well that there wouldn't be any consequences.
Mm-hmm.
So I got used to that. I realized I was a Black man when I was 16. I didn't know back then. When I went to Tunisia, I realized I was a Black man. So I've been a Black man for only, 12 years? And yeah, I experienced racism in a very physical manner.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I was around Arabs and they will see scenes happening, me being, having people spit on my face or attack me, and I had to defend myself, and no one would join in to help me or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it so many times that I laughed because I knew there wouldn't be any consequences.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you said to me. You said that you weren't as affected by seeing that word. You were affected by knowing there wouldn't be any consequences. Tell me about, you guys have taken this to the police in Ottawa. What's been the response?
Yeah. So the thing is, the police said it's not a hate crime, basically, to call us N-word.
Mm-hmm.
It's just freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Yes, yes. So personally, I was like, well, let us not forget that some speeches have a historical weight, and that carries a lot of dead bodies and pain.
Mm-hmm.
This is very strange because I know for a fact that the same freedom of speech wouldn't have applied to me if I was stupid enough or insensitive enough to call a Jewish person any racial slur,
Mm-hmm.
or a homosexual person any
Mm-hmm.
racial slur,
Mm-hmm.
or anything else
Mm-hmm.
in the society. So it makes me wonder, maybe we are probably so accustomed to the humiliation of the Black body that it makes it normal to the point where there's no consequences.
Yeah. By the way, has the person responded to your guys' email?
No, I haven't heard. I haven't heard. I would have heard. No, I don't think the person responded.
Okay. As I mentioned before, there were some people online who felt you guys should just kind of let it go and you should continue serving the person. What are your feelings on that?
Well, yeah, I realize we don't take anti-black racism seriously at all.
Mm.
And yet the whole world takes anti-Semitism, for example, very seriously.
Hmm.
I like to compare both because we have very similar situation of people thinking they're superior and they establish these theories out there and kill us, right?
Mm.
But those ideology had the exact same consequences today. Like black people, for example, other people took action and to reverse that, and the entire world now knows not to mess with them
Hmm.
and to protect their identity as they should.
Hmm.
Now, no one is asking Jewish people who are victims to forgive or to understand people who insult them. No one asks women who are victims of domestic violence to understand and to go and preach love to the boxers' husbands.
Hmm.
And personally, I mean, I've never heard any woman victim of rape who was asked to go and talk to the rapist instead.
Hmm.
It is a complete nonsense. So I just firmly denounce the hypocrisy of devaluing Black life that too many non-blacks and even blacks adopt and propagate through destructive ideologies as to forgive 77 times 7 and I don't know
Hmm.
what else, which is absolutely ridiculous and dangerous.
Hmm.
It scares me.
Hmm.
I'm a black man.
Hmm.
One day I'm going to have a black wife. I'm going to have black kids, obviously. And this doesn't feel safe for them.
Hmm. I feel like there's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger takeaway that people should come away with from this story. It's not just this one incident. I think this one incident is symbolic of a bigger issue. What do you feel that is? What do you feel is that takeaway that people should come away with after listening to this story?
I feel like we need to understand that silence is not acceptable.
Hmm.
Silence is dangerous. The silence of the majority who are part of the oppressive community is dangerous. This has happened before in history. The silence is guilty. The silence means something. In my opinion, it is like approval. I felt doubly insulted by the comments that told me black man to be the example and to go and to show him love,
Hmm.
to show the people love, and because you change the world with kisses and hugs. And I was forced to remind them that it is not my job to educate their fellow man.
Hmm.
When people talk about rape in my country, I speak to men because I know that the majority of rapists of women, children, or even men are
Hmm.
men. And so I don't tolerate that some people give themselves the freedom to put on my shoulders the weight of change in a society that are not willing to change. Let us stop pretending to be shocked by racism today and saying, oh my gosh, it's still happening in 2020. Of course it is happening. We
Hmm.
look stupid, excuse me the word, when we do that because if you put red paint on a green wall, it will stay red. It won't turn green again after a few centuries.
Hmm.
So we have to stop this hypocrisy. If you are my friend and I'm being attacked and I'm being disrespectful and my own and my kind is being put at risk, and the people doing that look like you and you do not take action, I do not know what to call you.
Would you say that's your main message then to, in the community, we have a lot of allies of different races, white allies. And I think sometimes they feel like they're doing the right thing by chiming in and giving you encouragement or some type of empathy by saying, don't worry, don't let it stop you. Don't worry about this. This is, like kind of ignore it. What would you say to them when they think they're doing the right thing by giving you this quote unquote comfort?
Yeah, I would say it's not the right thing to do because it is normalizing the putting the weight of this situation on the victim's shoulder is unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what they should do if they're really interested in changing the world is to address the racism in their community,
Mm-hmm.
is to take action because well they are the majority.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the majority and things like that happen for so long, it says something about you. Now, I don't mean to point fingers or anything, but I don't understand how we are still in this era and things like that happen. And it seems to be the same kind of people always. So we have to really take serious action with kind of words. And history is looking at us, and we will not forget.
In other words, white people, talk to each other, please. Talk to your people.
Yeah.
Instead of telling us to apologize, talk to them about why they should not be using the N word in any situation whatsoever. Thank you, Lizzie. And thank you for watching. Consider hitting the subscribe or follow button, and also consider joining our Patreon account so you can see more stories like this.